everyone, welcome back to the kitchen. Today I am going to be making some broccoli and cheddar soup. So far you're going to need a half a cup of butter, which is about 1 stick, and you're going to dice up an onion, and we're going to saute that, and then we'll move on to the next ingredients. This is a very easy recipe, and it's good comfort food on these cold fall winter days. It's very affordable to make. You probably got all of the ingredients right there in your refrigerator and your pantry. So all right, let's move on to the next ingredient, which is going to be a 1/3 cup of flour, because we're going to make it's like a roux to thicken the soup. Then we'll add the rest of the ingredients, the milk, the half and half. You got to put a little bit of nutmeg in here, and some salt and pepper. Of course, your cheese. You're going to need 3 cups of cheese, cheddar, Monterey Jack, or sharp cheddar. So I'm going to go ahead and get this sauteed up, and then we're going to move on to a 1/3 cup of flour. As you can see, the 1/3 cup of flour is mixing pretty good. We're going to mix this up. Just give that a really good stir. Then I'm going to be able to add the milk. It's going to be 4 cups of whole milk. It's also calls for chicken broth. Use the chicken broth to thin it out if it's too thick once you get it made up. So, all right, I don't want this to stick or to turn brown. So I'm going to go ahead and get the milk. 4 cups of milk, and pour it in. Like I said, this is a super easy recipe, and I will link the recipe in the description box for y'all to give it a try. All right, let's get the milk. Okay, so I added 4 cups of whole milk, 2 cups of half and half, a pinch of nutmeg, and we're going to add a pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper. And it calls to add 4 heads of chopped up broccoli. So I'm going to go ahead and get the broccoli and add it. And you want to have this on medium-low heat, because you don't want to scorch the milk. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead, and we added the broccoli, and we're going to turn this down on low and let it simmer for about 20 to 30 minutes until the broccoli is done. Then we'll move on to the next step. You're going to want to consistently stir this while it's on simmer, while it's on low. That way it doesn't stick. The flour is to help thicken it up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and set my timer, and we're going to keep stirring it every few minutes. All right, I've got all of the 3 cups of cheddar cheese in there, and it's starting to thicken up. And if it gets too thick, like I said, you can add some chicken broth to it. And you want to keep this on low. I'm sure the longer it sits on heat, the longer it's gonna get thick. And so, and you can see how mine is getting really thick too. So I'm gonna end up having to add some. Yeah, it's getting real thick. going to end up adding some chicken broth to it to thin it out a little bit. I'm not going to add a whole lot. But here you go. Here is broccoli cheddar soup. I used a triple cheddar blend cheese, white Vermont cheddar, sharp cheddar, and mild cheddar cheese. So this is really good to eat either by itself, or if you like sourdough bread, crunchy sourdough bread, it is so good to just take a piece of that sourdough bread and just dip it in that soup. It is so good, especially on a cold day today. And it looks like I will have leftovers for myself, and I can put this up after it cools off. And I imagine after having to reheat it up, I'll still have to add a little bit of chicken broth, because it's going to be thicker after you freeze it or put it in the refrigerator. So I hope you enjoy, and let me know if you give it a try. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe and share. It helps out the channel. I'm trying to get my channel subscriptions up there so I can get monetized. I'm not monetized yet, but thank you, and I'll see you next time here in the Countryside Kitchen.